Hello everybody and welcome to the Conversation Street Awards 2025, where we are going to be running down your picks for the very best of Coronation Street in the past 12 months. I'm Michael.
I'm Gemma.
And you've been voting for the past few weeks on who's been the baddest baddie, the top lad, the top lass, favourite scenes, and the votes have all been counted and are ready to be revealed to you today.
And it's been another record-breaking year for voting, so thank you everybody that took part, and of course, as always, the thanks goes to Coronation Street for creating such amazing characters and storylines for us to vote on. I
know, it's been another good year. It's been controversial in many ways. It's been Kate Brooks' first year as producer, so we'll be looking to see what people have liked the most out of her first 12 months in situ. Of course, 1/6 of the votes has come from us. Well, 1/6 from me, 1/6 from you, so our listener votes have counted for 2/3 of the votes, but it's still been, a good old chunk that our listeners and followers have contributed as well.
So, without further ado, let's get on with the first award.
Our first award today is the A-Up Award for Best Newcomer in 2025. And as always, there have been a slew of new faces on the cobbles that we've got to know and love this year. But which one has been the best? Our nominations for the A-Up Award 2025 are Becky, Theo, Lou, Ben, and Maggie. And the winner of the Conversation Street 2025 A-Up Award for Best New Character is Lou!
Yay!
Yay! I'm really glad, but I'm also sad that she's not in at the moment. I mean, have we seen the last of Lou? Has Lou been flushed away?
Well, I hope that winning this award might make Corrie think we need to get her back. Farrell Haggerty plays her. Oh, she's an actress, comedian, content creator. She's having a whale of a time on Instagram.
See, she's done quite a bit of stuff online before Coronation Street, but we haven't heard of her. Yeah. But looking on her Instagram now, she just does these brilliant skits. She's so funny.
I assume she's on other platforms, but yeah, that's where we see
Instagram's
her.
her main. But yeah, coming into Coronation Street, it was such a real breath of fresh air. We'd heard, I think it was late last year, that there was going to be a new family joining the Cobbles, hadn't we? And they were going to be moving into Maudsley Street, and there'd be a bit of a rowdy neighbours. And they had an idea in their head about what they would be, but Lou absolutely outclassed all my expectations. I loved her.
I know, Farrell's got such a natural charisma and charm, and Lou is such a flawed character, but she's got so many things that are likeable about her, but she's also obviously not a saint at all, and I like that complicated nature of her.
Yeah, because she came in, she was friends with Gemma for a bit, wasn't she? They just get a little bit like Becky, just inviting themselves round the back of the Winter Brown's house for a little while. And you could tell that they were mischievous and a little bit naughty. Mick just went that bit far the wrong way into proper wrong-un territory, didn't he? And then when we found out that she was the victim of domestic abuse, it just made me kind of feel sorry for her even more and just want to keep her and look after her. But she was a bit of a bad streak herself, didn't she? Which is why she ended up where she is at the moment.
She assaulted poor Gary.
Yes.
She made him question his masculinity, and for that she got sent to prison.
Oh, yes, she did, didn't she?
Yeah, so she's locked up at the moment, but hopefully she'll break out or get...
I don't know what's going to happen because she's supposed to be... I think she's been sent down for 4 years and that's been extended more. But we got the Michaelis kids in the show still. I just think she's brilliant. She's so much fun. And she just brings a real spark and freshness to the Cobbles. Absolutely gutted to find out that she was going to be going after only a few months. So yeah, this award, as you say, will hopefully make Coronation Street realise they need to get her back, because even if we have to wait a little while, I just think she's a perfect fit on the Cobbles. More scenes with her and Shona even, because her and Farrell and Julia are good friends in real life, aren't they?
Love it.
Real breath of fresh air. Let's have her start anew, turn over a new leaf, like Christina. And, maybe 26, 27 will be the year of Lou again. But congratulations, Farrell. You got our first award of the evening. Let's get on to our next one.
Now it's time to give the award for the best exit. This is our Tara Award. The nominees were Mason, Daisy, Jenny, Craig, and Gail. And the winner of the Tara Award for Best Exit of 2025 goes to Mason.
Oh, early 2025 exit there. Congratulations, Mason. It was such an impactful moment, and he had some real stiff, if you'll pardon the pun, competition in this year's awards, because we had a lot of deaths, didn't we? And jettings off abroad.
Even having to cull the nominees was hard.
It was real tough one this year.
There's a few people that could have made this list, but we didn't put them on the nominees.
Yeah, but honestly, that episode where Mason got stabbed, it's been nominated and awarded for plenty of other awards this year as well. And it's not a surprise because the way that they did it was so clever. Going into the year, we knew that there'd be a knife crime episode, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
But I don't think we knew that Mason was going to die. I think they'd said in the spoilers previews that he was going to be stabbed.
Yeah.
But a lot of us kind of went into there saying, oh, this is the end of Mason, isn't it? But then you see him getting into this fight with the brothers, and then there's a twist.
Yeah, the twist is he survives, and he sort of lives a very brief moment in a parallel universe where everything's fine.
Yeah, he's just there at the play park, isn't he? Betsy comes along, he goes back to Sally for a bit, and I remember sitting there watching it going, this isn't right. Because we'd seen pictures of him bleeding out with Abby as well, and it was a bit the moment the big twist comes when he's getting into the taxi with Tim, because he's supposed to be jetting off to Germany with Stu, isn't he?
Yeah. So we knew that he was leaving.
Yeah.
So Coronation Street managed to hide the fact that he was actually dead, which is very clever.
So clever, keeping us confused and on our toes. And that moment when he's in the back of the taxi, Abby turns round from the driver's seat, he looks down, he's bleeding from his gut, and like, what on earth is going on here? And then you see, it kind of does a rewind and we find out what really happened, because that was supposed to be the events if a knife hadn't been brought to the fight, right?
Yeah.
And then you get to see Dylan putting the knife in the vents and then fast forward in. There's so many effects that usually I hate on Coronation Street, to be fair, but I loved it for this. And you see Dylan bringing the knife, Mason getting stabbed, and there's just some really great close-ups of Mason, like dead-eyed, clutching back and forth to what's reality, and Abby ends up finding him, doesn't she? He doesn't bleed out there, does he? He goes to hospital for a bit.
But then he dies.
Alas, isn't able to be saved. So Betsy's there watching, and Asher. It was such an impactful episode and a real powerhouse performance from Luke O'Toole. And so I'm really chuffed that he's won this one, even against all the competition. Because as I say, there were some really great exits this year. And we've actually got Luke O'Toole in here today with us to give a little acceptance speech to everybody who voted for him. So over to you, Luca.
Hello everybody, I hope you've had a belting Christmas. No, I have. I feel like an absolute pig. But thank you so much for voting me for the Tara Award on Conversation Street. It still blows my mind that a year later, people are still voting and supporting. It's hard to wrap your head around, but it means a lot because I know everything that Michael and Gemma do on Conversation Street is ace. But yeah, no, thank you so much. Hope you've all had a beautiful Christmas. God bless you and have an amazing New Year. Cheers, guys.
On to our next award, and this is the Getaway category, where we mark the best location shoot that Corrie has been on in the past 12 months. Our nominees this year are Kit and Mick's flashback scenes, Glenda and Co go to Canal Street, Lisa, Becky and Carla visit the park, Julie passes away by the lake, and Lauren's trial. And the winner of the 2025 Conversation Street Getaway Award for Best Location Shoot is the Canal Street scenes.
Oh, I'm so glad this won.
I'm really happy that this one won. This was like Corrie at its campest, wasn't it?
I loved it.
Amongst all the darkness this year, this is what was really needed.
It was really vibrant. It used the location really well. And they also had some great direction, didn't they?
Yeah, David Kester directed this, and something I really appreciated about it, and again, watching back just recently for the awards today, is saying how they did so many of the shots in one take. I love a tracking shot on any TV show or film, and all this, just the cameras swinging around outside the bar, going inside, coming out again. It was really cleverly done, and it was all packed. There was just stuff to look at everywhere you looked. So the story here, if you remember, was Glenda had been asked to promote a vodka there, so she goes along with Sean. Sean had his little side story, didn't he, with his two boyfriends
who ended up snogging each other.
Yeah, and so I love the party atmosphere. You had Mary dishing out the shots, Glenda there on the mic where she is most at home.
Yeah, taking over, being glam.
Yeah, and then you had the actual drag queen, Patty O'Dawes, coming in, which was a brilliant little turn by David David Strawhair, I think the actor was called.
Yeah, I think he also plays a drag queen called Vermicelli.
Right, oh, okay.
In outside of Coronation Street.
So it was so much fun, but then you also did have just that little bit of the darkness with the Todd and Theo story.
That's right, because Theo meets an ex of his, and this is when it's revealed to us as viewers too that he had previously been in a relationship with a man, because he had told Todd that he'd never been with a man before.
Yes.
And then it's revealed to us he was lying.
And in a really coercive, controlling relationship
right.
with Owen as well. And some of the behaviour that we've since seen him display towards Todd, clearly this isn't the first rodeo for him. So I think this is probably not the last that we'll see of Owen. But yeah, what a scene. Absolutely fantastic.
The whole thing, yeah.
And it was on the episode where Jenny left as well.
I
So
know.
the sadness there, but we did get an awful lot of joy with all the performances there. Now, we wanted to ask somebody to come onto the show to say thank you for this. And because it was such an ensemble effort, we've actually got the writer of that episode, Debbie Oates, here with us to say a thank you to everyone who voted. So over to you, Debbie.
Hello, Michael, Gemma, and all the Conversation Street family. It's an absolute delight to accept, on behalf of the show, the Getaway Award for our Canal Street scenes. I was the lucky writer who was given them to write. And if I'm honest, when I saw in the storyline they all go to Canal Street, I kind of thought we might fake somewhere up to look like it. But no, we got Canal Street, and I think the buzz that created in the crew and in the cast and all the background artists, of which there were lots and lots, as you saw, David Kester, the director. There was just a real excitement around that filming, and I'm glad that comes over. And thank you for voting for it. And keep watching. We're enjoying what we do. I hope you are too. And here's to lots more in 2026. Happy New Year. Lots of love.
Next up, we've got our award, Hello Love, for the best new romance on the street in the past 12 months.
Who's been puckering up this year, Gemma?
Love is in the air, and so to celebrate it, we've got our nominees here: Dee Dee and Ollie, Eva and Ben, Christina and George, Abby and Carl, and Sarah and Kit. But I can reveal that the winner of the Hello Love Award for the best new romance is going to go to Christina and George.
Oh, landslide. I love
really
how you did a little bit of a giggle when you were announcing the nominations there, but some of them.
Some of these feel a bit star-crossed, don't they?
They do a little bit. But tell you what, Christina and George, who could have seen that coming?
Oh, I love them together. Really, really think they're both great characters individually. Mm-hmm. And since George has now been with Christina, I think he's become an even better character.
He has. I mean, George was very much in Eileen's shadow for the past few years that he's been on the programme. And then with Eileen cut loose from the programme, that was a real risk that he could just sink. But he's risen, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And even Christina, she's been on and off the show for, 3 years or so now? And with Daisy departing for Bali, there was a real risk that we'd never see her again. But
I know, especially considering what she was involved with, fleecing Jenny and all the crime.
Well, this has been not just a turnaround for George, but for Christina as well. You're right, because I don't think they could have kept her in the show being the con artist that she was. But this has shown a real kind of vulnerable, softer side to her, and caring side too, because she's been on the verges of the Todd and Theo story, hasn't she? And noticing that something's not quite right there.
Honestly, they both fit in so well together as a couple. It's hard to believe that they've only been going out since... When? I can't even, a few months.
Well, it was after Jenny left, wasn't it? But, around that time, because Jenny had the hots for George. And I remember thinking as a viewer, are we supposed to be siding with Jenny here? Because I really think that George and Christina have got something special here. And I think just sometimes you can put two actors together and they just spark into something brilliant. And I really, really hope that this isn't just going to be a get together, never see them again. We need George and Christina at the forefront of our show in 2026 because they're just brilliant.
I just love watching them together. I really, really do.
So much fun. Almost didn't happen when she turned down his stiffy that one time, but he's got past that.
That happens to a lot of couples, so I'm glad to see they're moving on.
And to accept our award today, we've got one half of this year's Hello Love winners, Amy Robbins, who plays Christina. Over to you, Amy.
Me and Georgie forever. So pleased to be voted most annoying couple, was it? Couple who eat the most, couple who drink the most. It's a delight. I'm so chuffed. I love this podcast. I love Conversation Street. So thrilled that you love Christina and George. And Tony and I are absolutely chuffed to bits. So, Happy New Year, and thanks very much. Hooray!
I tell you what, we have had a heck of a lot of darkness and drama in Coronation Street recently, but sometimes when I switch it on, all I want is a right laugh, and that is what our next award is for, the Right Laugh Award for the funniest character on the cobbles. Our nominees this year are Christina, Glenda, Debbie, Bernie and David. And the Conversation Street 2025 Right Laugh Award for funniest character goes to Debbie Webster.
Yay!
Yeah, love her. Again, really stiff competition here, I think. We got some really funny folks, but Debbie, I mean, this has been her year, hasn't it? And she has had so many funny moments. Have you got any particular comedy highlights from Debbie you want to shout out to?
I really enjoyed the art therapy painting scene with her
gosh,
and Abby,
yes.
where she painted her picture.
She did a really good picture of Ronnie, didn't she? And then you had
Yeah.
Abby with a little
Yeah.
gnome picture of Kevin. That was fantastic. I said the trolley scene from a couple of weeks ago. That was a real standout moment of the year when she gets pushed into the side of the police car and
Yes.
she's there saying she's got, what is it she calls? The lazy-itis or
Something
something
like
like that. And she's just so brilliant.
When
She's
she
got
took over the
such-
dementia choir with the
Oh,
magic
yes.
microphone as well.
Yes, yeah.
She's
with
so
her-
charming.
She really
And
is.
funny.
She must be such fun to write for. And she's had a few fun drunk scenes as well. There was one earlier this year where she comes home and she's saying that she should be in banana armour or something. She collapses over the side. She's a very
Vivacious,
but
fun-loving. Yeah.
Energetic, and I loved her proposal to Ronnie at
Yeah.
Dev's wedding as well, where she's taken centre stage, shouting out "hopelessly devoted to you," and it ends in that massive. Like Glenda, she just brings the campness to Coronation Street that I know a lot of viewers really love.
Just bubbly and energetic, and it's sometimes very much needed in this show.
Yeah, she is. Oh, do you remember when they had the drag night earlier this year and she comes in and is like, "Hello, gays!" There are some lines that you can really only write for Debbie, and you
Yeah.
know that she's going to deliver them every
with
single
a beaming
time.
smile.
She is. Oh, and
She's sunshine.
her and Raphael as well. The double
Oh.
act that we never knew that we wanted. Although I say, let's have more Raphael in
Yeah.
2026.
Make that a
because-
resolution.
Yeah,
Corrie.
that is right for comedic potential. Debbie and Sue Devaney are both absolutely hilarious, and she's been in the shadows for far too long. And even though it's been a sad story that's brought her to the forefront this year, it's been great that it's been balanced with so many hilarious scenes as well. So long may they continue in 2026. Let's move on to our next award.
Now it's time for the R-Kid Award for the best young character on the show. Our nominees this year are Millie, Hope, Joni, Liam and Shanice. And the winner of the R-Kid Award goes to Joni!
Hey, congratulations.
Hooray!
Well, it was 2 out of 5 going to be McCarless kids, but it was Joni that swung it this year. Congratulations. Savannah Pennington as well, who's new to Corrie this year and has obviously made a big impression on our listeners. So she's a funny character, both the McCarless kids, because Lou and Mick made their debut on
Yes.
Corrie kind of February time, I think it was, wasn't it? And it wasn't for about 3 months that we got to see these kids, so we always thought they were going to be heard about but not seen.
They kept referring to the girls and we were like,
Yes.
these girls are never going to be
But
cast.
it was when Mick was on the run, I think, that we saw Lou shepherding them out hurriedly into the Ginnel to try and escape to the hostel or something. And they end up going to the hospital because Tim finds out that she's been the victim of domestic violence. But really, Joni, the character, has come into her own since Lou's been in prison, hasn't she?
That's right. This kicked off a fostering story with Sally and Tim, who've taken them in July and been looking after them ever since. And they've had some challenges, haven't they? Because
Yes. But Joni's not always come across as the the nicest of kids, has she? I mean, she's so damaged with being brought up in that horrible household that it's no wonder that she's also been a little bit rough with her sister as well.
Being separated from her parents as well, not being able to live in her home, must be very, very difficult.
And also trapped on the factory roof with Sally. That's got to do a number on yourself. But wasn't that a brilliant scene? That was definitely Savannah at her best. Her and Sally there, still talking about. It was lovely because Joni's quite prickly towards Sally, and as the conversation goes on, she opens up and she talks about how her dad scared her, so she was glad that he was put in prison. And Sally's like, "I'm going to look after you," and she's committed to that, as difficult it has been ever since. And she's had her tough times. I mean, she was throwing down Christmas trees just a week or so ago, wasn't she?
Yeah.
So I hope that as 2026 goes on, we'll get to see a little bit more of a relaxed and settled Joni.
That's right. We just want her to have a nice 2026, and let's see a bit more of a softer side. Let her come out of her shell.
Well, there's got to be drama, hasn't there?
Well,
but I just don't like the idea that the character is so unhappy, which she clearly is at the moment. And, you know, who better to have as your parents than Sally and Tim? I think that's who most of us would pick.
Yeah. Let's hear from the winner of this category, Savannah Pennington, who's sent in a video.
Hi everyone, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who voted for me. I'm so grateful and it means so much to know that people have connected with Joni. Thank you so much for all the love and support.
And on to our next award of the night. And what is it that we're doing next, Debbie? Yeah, that's right. The Ecky Thump Award for Best Scuffle of 2025. Well, one of the nominees was actually 2024, wasn't it? Our nominees this year are Toya and Leanne's Festive Fisticuffs from Christmas 24, Mick and Kit, Scrap on the Factory Roof, Gary and Mick's Rumble on the Street, Todd wrestles with Noah in the community centre, and Matty takes Mandy and Bobby hostage in the prison. And the winner of the Conversation Street 2025 Ecky Thump Award for Best Scuffle goes to Toya and Leanne's Festive Fisticuffs. Hey! So we got an award from, a scene from 2024 took the award in 2025. There were some great fights this year, weren't there? But this one to me really does stand out as being an all-time proper soap brawl, wasn't it? Wasn't it fantastic?
I really loved the chaos that it caused as well, because sometimes these can be like, you know, an isolated scuffle and you get a punch or two and people then carry on arguing, but this was just like the Battersby sisters causing absolute havoc
at Gail's wedding as well.
There were things being thrown, policemen being bitten,
hair
pulling.
Poor old Corrie, he got kneed in the ghoulies by Leanne.
He did, yeah.
He? This was the Battersby sisters at their finest. This is how we love them. They came in scrappy, and we get to see that side of them so rarely. But you know, Toya had stolen Leanne's man, so
revenge was due.
No
wasn't
holding
it?
them back, really. I love the reactions of all the guests, the wedding guests as well.
Yeah.
You had like Debbie going, "Oh," and then she goes, "Oh, let's get stuck in there."
Yeah.
Sally, I think, has a few good reactions. That's what you want, because that's what we're doing as viewers. I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they said that. It was so fun. A little bit shorter than I would have liked, but you know, as far as soap festive fights go, I couldn't have asked for much more of this. With some of my favourite characters as well. And Leanne was just such a cow, wasn't she?
Well, so was Toya, you know. She's the one who did below the belt, and then Leanne gives her a shove, and the rest is history.
That's true. And Imran got a shout out as well, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
When Leanne said I didn't need to lock him in a car and drive him into a wall, which Abby reacted to, but there hasn't been anything come out from that. So maybe that's something to come for 2026, I don't know. But what a fantastic fight that was. I'm really, really pleased that our listeners voted that as number one in the past 12 months. And we've got a thank you from the girl herself, friend of the podcast, Georgia Taylor, who's kindly agreed to accept the award.
Hi everyone, it's Georgia Taylor here. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to the brilliant listeners of Conversation Street for voting for Toya and Leanne's fight to win the Ecky Thump Award. Battersby by name, Battersby by nature, I guess. And I know Jane will be thrilled as well. So yeah, thank you so much. I'm so glad you enjoyed the sisters warring and fighting. You know, we're best mates in real life. But also thank you to John Anderson, our director, who Jane and I have been lucky enough to work with on and off for 28 years. And our brilliant fight arranger, Kate Waters, who does a lot of the stuff on Corrie and Emmerdale. Yeah, and she's brilliant. She's the top of her game, and really looked after us and made sure that we were both safe. So yeah, thank you so much. Will there be more fights between Toya and Leanne next year? Who can say? You'll just have to stay tuned. But thank you so much. Yeah, lots of love. Have a great 2026.
You might be surprised to hear that the next category is the Bayek Award for the most shocking moment of the year. We had some great ones this year, and these are our nominees. Carl's two-timing Abby with James. Richard Hillman returns to haunt Gail's dreams. Becky's alive.
Alive.
Tyrone gets hit by a car. And Mason is killed by his brothers. And the winner of the Bayek Award for the best shocking moment of 2025 goes to... Becky's alive!
Becky's alive!
Becky's alive!
What a great moment this was. And it's something that fans have been theorising about for a good few months leading up to it, hadn't they? Because we know for the past, 2 years or so, we had been left in no doubt whatsoever that Becky was as dead as a doornail, and there'd been a whole murder investigation. We'd had clues, we'd made...
They had a funeral and everything.
They'd had all this. They'd made us think that the Radcliffes were involved in her death somehow. So, but people were saying, I think that she could still be here.
Well, the thing is that we started off an intriguing mystery because Matty mentioned something about knowing some more circumstances around her death, and we originally thought that it would just be some kind of corruption or murder mystery or something about how did she really die, because the story had always been that she was knocked down in the line of duty.
Yes.
But then we get Matty mentioning we had Mason's death being all folded into it, and we also had Carla investigating as well. Yeah,
because there was the whole story about is Becky corrupt, and Lisa, when she went to her therapy, she was admitting to the therapist, I think that she may have been a bit bent actually. But wow, that episode in the beginning of September, Betsy's 18th birthday no less, where I think the episode before we'd seen somebody following Lisa, hadn't we? There'd been a few POV shots, and I think we then thought, is it Becky? Could it be? No, but she's dead.
Well, we'd seen the character herself in the hospital before she turned
you're
up.
Right, we had,
and she wasn't really credited.
And
she just...
No, you're right. And there'd been
Roy.
that little clue online where Lucy Fallon had posted a picture inside the dressing room with Amy Cudden's name there, and a few people have put things together, but we didn't want to believe it for sure until we actually saw it on screen. So you had that end of the episode on the 8th of September. Lisa's there drinking her wine. Somebody comes in through the front door, I think it was, starting a fashion that went on for the next few months, just wandering in. And then Lisa's reaction was so good. That was some top class acting by Vicky Myers there. The gasp as she drops her wine glass, and Becky's fantastic. There standing in front of her. And that's the end of the episode, isn't it? And I think we had to wait about another 4 days or so to find out what happened after that. And you get the first scene of the Friday episode with trying to make some sense about what's happened here. And I know lots of people have said this story is a little bit silly at times, and what real life situation can you possibly draw on for this? But I was hooked, and I think as the moment that I was just I need to know what's going to happen now. This definitely wins it out for me, so I'm glad it got picked.
Absolutely not a more shocking moment in the year.
Absolutely cracking performances all round. And we've actually got an acceptance speech from the director of those scenes, Jordan Hogg, who was a guest on the podcast earlier this year, but he's back now to thank everybody for voting. Over to you, Jordan.
It's so cool to have won the Bayek Award. We knew when we were doing the Becky return thing that it was something really special, so we kind of tried to pull out all the stops, and I tried to make it the best environment possible for Vicky and Amy to really shine, because they had to pull on emotions they wouldn't have experienced before. So trying to find them special spaces they had to emotionally go to was quite tricky, but Vicky Myers, especially being the trooper she is, really pulled it out of the bag, and as you can see, we're starting to get some recognition for it, which is really good. But thank you so much for this. It's really well appreciated. It's really well deserved by the actors in particular as well. Thank you so much.
Up next, we have got the Wrong 'Un Award, where we crown the best villain of the year in 2025. And the nominees are Theo, Becky, Mick, Noah, and Carl. And the winner of the Conversation Street 2025 award for Wrong 'Un goes to Becky Swain.
Boo.
And what a wrong 'un she has been. What a criminal. God, I tell you what. kidnapping, manipulation, corruption.
Yeah.
What else has she done?
Bad fashion.
Crimes against fashion, exactly. Who else could it be other than Becky this year? Yeah, she got a lot of votes, and she's been so much fun of a villain to watch.
Well, the Swallow fandom would not call it fun. They hated her the moment she stepped on the scene because she was getting straight back into the business of winning her wife back.
Well, I think this is probably the biggest crime of them all, isn't it? Getting in between this year's hot couple of Lisa and Carla.
Crimes against love.
She just wants to get back to the way things were. Wouldn't we all do the same?
She's using her kid to get between Carla and Lisa. She's doing loads of dodgy alleyway meetings up.
Oh, she did that kiss at Halloween, didn't she?
Yes.
After putting on their secret special music from the wedding. I love how she keeps referencing things.
She's
breaking and entering. There's another crime as well.
Constantly walking in the house unannounced.
Yeah, there's still. I don't know. It feels like maybe her time is coming to an end, but who knows where this is going to go? But she's been a lot of fun. That spoon drop moment when she was letting Carla know that she was there in the house as well. Absolute classic.
She also loves throwing plates. At the moment, as recording, she has Carla locked up in a little wardrobe.
Yeah, who knows where this is going to be by the time we actually release this, though. But we're still on the edge of the seats to find out because she's going to be buggering off to Spain because she's been threatening it for a very long time.
She's about to get her comeuppance, surely.
Surely. Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we, for a little bit longer. But to say thank you for everybody voting for her as Wrong'un of the Year, we have got a little message from Amy Cudden. Over to you, Amy.
Hello. So I found out that I won the winner in the Wrong'un category. Sorry, that's my dog in the background. The winner in the Wrong'un category for Best Villain in the Conversation Street Awards 2025, and I am absolutely delighted. I'm completely thrilled. It's been the job of a lifetime. It's been an absolute privilege, and to see out the year with this news is just the most delicious cherry on top of the cake. So thank you so much to all of the followers of Conversation Street. I appreciate you, and thank you for making me very, very happy and very grateful. Also, apparently when I rocked up on Betsy's birthday, this has also won the Bayek Award for Most Shocking Twist in the year too. So that is also just the best news. And just thank you so much. You've made this little Wrong'un extremely happy, and a happy new year to you. Thank you so much.
Right, we're on the home stretch now, Ducklings. We've got the top lad to do, which is the best male character. The nominees for this category are Todd, George, Dev, Kevin, and David. And I can reveal that the winner of the top lad best male character for 2025 award goes to David.
Hey, I've done it again. David Platt steals the award away from the competition, but we just love him, don't we?
Just year after year.
It looks like our listeners and followers agree. Yeah, he got an awful lot of votes this year. And another big year for David. His house has burned down.
Well, you see, he's got a new mantelpiece now to put it on because the Platts had a new set for the first time in years, which is obviously a big move for David, and I think he had a hand in the decorating.
I think so. I'm glad that the whole story with Harvey is over at least, because that was overrunning just a little bit, but we did sadly lose Max, didn't we? So we've seen David lose a house, lose his son, nearly lost his own life. Do you remember that episode where he planned for his own death by hit and run?
Yeah, that's a bit dramatic, wasn't it?
He's had a couple of special episodes, because he had that one where he was like counting down the hours to his death, and then later on this year we had that great perspective episode where we saw the scene from Shona's point of view, and then saw it again from David. And I love getting inside characters' heads, and who better than to do that with than the complex character of David? Because Jack P. Shepherd just year after year proves what an asset to the show he is.
He's also had I loved his comedy moments with the Connor Swains about the rubbish and moaning and being just a nightmare neighbour.
He was in the right there. They shouldn't have been putting their rubbish in his bin.
Well, he also spoiled the near proposal scene, didn't he, by heckling them in the garden.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? And I loved the bit where he finds the pregnancy kit in the bin as well, and is brandishing doing that. He thinks, first he thinks it's Lily's, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Then he thinks it's Betsy's, and then obviously in the last couple of months we've had the story that's really shown his dramatic acting chops, where Shona's been pregnant, but there's a bit of a problem with the baby in there. So,
there's action to come in 2026 for David.
but also really great bonding moments with him
Yeah.
and Shona. I've loved just some scenes which has been them snuggling on the sofa. I just love them together. I think
I
they're
also
absolutely brilliant.
really, really loved that he got pinged by Ben. That was great.
He all in all, a brilliant year for David and Jack. I mean, even won Celebrity Big Brother this year as well, didn't
Yeah.
they? So we'll just ping another award over to him to add to his growing collection.
Stick it in his pigeonhole.
Right, let's move on to the next award. And after the Top Lad Award, of course, what comes next is Top Lass, where we crown Corrie's best female character of 2025. And there is always some great competition here, because Corrie's all about the strong, feisty women, isn't it? This year's nominees are Lisa, Jenny, Carla, Abby, and Debbie. And the winner of the Conversation Street 2025 Top Lass Award for Best Female Character is Debbie Webster. She's done it again, the second award of the evening. Congrats, Debbie Webster. I'm absolutely chuffed with this. Debbie has 100% been my favourite character of the year, so it's nice to see that the listeners and followers agreed by voting her number one here.
This has really been a renaissance for Debbie, because we knew going into this year that, you know, the dementia story was likely happening. We had petitions we were signing.
What a furore there.
Trying to stop it from happening. But one good part of this storyline is that the number of appearances by Debbie has just rocketed from 54 last year in 2024 to over 150 in 2025.
We have been drowning in Debbie.
Blessed, yeah.
Absolutely blessed. Yeah, rhubarb hill blessed, one might
exactly.
say. And yeah, one of the things people were, you said they weren't happy with the idea that she was getting this dementia storyline, but people said, but we know Sue Devaney is going to do a cracking job of it.
Yeah, we always said
and
that.
she has. She's been brilliant, hasn't she? I love the scenes earlier in the year where things were starting to go a bit wrong for her, like she collapsed in the ginnel, she was getting overly mad at Jack, and then we had that episode where she goes to the doctors with her symptoms, and we get to see, do you remember, it was from the doctor's point of view, and there was just Debbie talking into camera for about a quarter of an episode about everything that's gone wrong, and she was just superb.
She's just such a talented actress. Sue Devaney is just fabulous.
That scene reminded me a bit of our one-woman show that we saw a few years ago, because it was like she was talking to us, and as the years gone on, we've seen her struggle with the diagnosis, but also kind of rise above it and say, look, I'm going to fight this as much as I can, and it all kind of come into a head with a brilliant Businesswoman of the Year speech that we saw a couple of weeks ago as well. I just love it, and it just made me hate Carl even more, knowing that he's fleecing her.
I know, she's seen like a really vulnerable side of her, but she only seems to show it when she's sort of trying to get her family to stay with her. She's handled her diagnosis with dignity, but when it came to trying to beg Kevin to come to the wedding, for example, she was on her knees. She just really cares about her family.
She really,
and
really
she's
does.
such a bubbly friend to all on the show as well.
I tell you what, I'm calling it now. She's gonna be a real strong contender for Top Lass in 2026 Conversation Street Awards, isn't she? Yeah. But for now, let's celebrate. She's been voted number one of the year in 2025, and to say thank you for all of your votes, here is the woman herself, Sue Devaney.
Hey, I just wanted to say a quick thank you very, very much for my two awards. Was it Top Lass Award and the Right Laugh Award? The Right Laugh Award, right, yeah. They say that things come in twos, don't they? Like them two raffia cactus plants there. But I'm very, very grateful and chuffed to little mint balls. Happy 2026. Have a fantastic year and see you all very soon. Ta-ra!
Now it's time for the final listener voted award of the evening, and it's the That's Champion Award for Best Storyline. The nominees are Carla and Lisa's Ups and Downs, Theo's coercive control of Todd, Mason's death and its aftermath, Debbie is diagnosed with dementia, and Abby and Carl's affair. And the winner of the That's Champion Award for the Best Storyline of the whole of 2025 goes to Carla and Lisa's Ups and Downs.
Oh, it's a swallow sweet. They've done it. They have made the final biggest award of the night, the best storyline. Congratulations to Swallow fans, to Lisa, to Carla. This year has been dominated by this couple, hasn't it? So it's no surprise that over 50% of our voters picked this as the number one story of the year.
That's right, because it wasn't just about their relationship, but all of the challenges that they had along the way. But all of that obviously was underpinned by this love between these two women. And the only reason they were challenged so much of it was because they were trying to stay together throughout all of their hardships. So
3 kidnappings was there so far?
Kidnappings, sepsis, kidney transplants.
New house, I mean, that's the most stressful experience, isn't it? I'll tell you what.
A colleague dying, Craig, Craig's death affected Lisa.
Had to go through that, didn't she?
Proposals, why have one when you could have 3?
Yeah, was it that many? Because you had Lisa proposes to Carla after Craig's death, and then they realised, no, we can't do this just in grief. Carla tried to propose in the garden, in the pub, and then finally we have this mega proposal by Lisa outside the factory, don't we?
In her uniform, very sexy with her hair down.
Ultimate romantic moment. But I love that they've got this new house. So this is the first same-sex couple to have a house on. Is it on that side of the road in Coronation Street?
Or just
in Coronation Street in general? I don't know. But it's fab that they've got their own space now, and leaving Debbie and Ronnie room to move into their old flat as well. It's just been such. I think we when we came up with these nominee titles, we really struggled to know what to call this one, but I think that ups and downs really does encapsulate it. I mean, the downs, Rob flipping over the banisters earlier in the year, you remember that? And I still think that his baby's going to come out of the woodwork somewhere, with Mandy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're not looking after her at some point next year.
Biggest challenge, Becky.
Yes, and it all started with that mysterious name of Tia Wardley, doesn't it? Who we know a little bit more about now. She was the one that ended up dying and being cremated so that Becky could go off and live in Spain. It's been an absolutely bonkers story, and I don't know whether there's been many people that have been watching that have been supremely happy with every single twist and turn that the story has had, but it certainly kept us on our feet.
Really has. And obviously at the moment, Carla and Lisa have broken up, partly because Carla's relocated herself to a cupboard. But I'm really hoping that 2026 is going to see them back together and possibly getting married.
I'm sure it will. I've got no doubt in my mind that they're going to get through this.
They really will do.
There's going to be an awful lot of grovelling that's needed from one side or the other, because I can't believe they had Lisa sleep with Becky. Unbelievable.
We can't.
I know.
Can't talk too much about it now.
It has been the year of Carla and Lisa. I think we probably are going to see a bit less of them because, blimey, Vicky and Ali, they have been working their bottoms off in 2025. But yeah, no surprise, and I think very well deserved win for those two. Is the That's Champion Award for 2025.
Don't forget all the supporting players though, because we also had Costello, Kit, Betsy, Ryan.
You're right. Bobby, remember him?
They all played their part, and Rob.
Even Bobby played his part.
Yeah,
his
he
head
did.
Slammed into the table.
He did.
Or something.
Yeah, he suffered for his art.
He did. He really, really did. Yeah, this has been the year of Costello, hasn't it? He's been elevated a little bit, not to regular, but we've learned a bit more about him. But there's definitely still some element of mystery that needs answering, I hope, in the early stages of 2026.
We want answers.
We do. We demand them. Right, that's it for our That's Champion Award, but we have got one more left to go. Our final award for the night is the Mad For It Award. Now, this is not listener voted. This is decided by Gemma and me, and it's our Listener of the Year.
That's right, it's the Mad For It Award, and we like to celebrate our listeners because it's you that makes the show. And thank you for all the support that you've given us over the year and all the previous years as well. Your likes, your supportive comments, your thoughts, whether you disagree with us or agree with us, it's always really interesting to hear from you. Yes, so thank you, everybody.
The podcast would not be here without the listeners. So we just always like to have this Mad For It Award to pick out one of you that's made the year extra special. And as always, this award is in tribute to Diane Williams, one of our listeners who passed away a number of years ago. But she was such an important member of the Conversation Street community and a real champion of all things Corrie. We've had this award dedicated to her ever since. So, Gemma, I'm going to pass over to you to announce who this year's Mad For It winner is.
This year we've decided to give the Mad For It award to Jonathan Isby. Thank you so much for all of your support, your kind messages, your feedback that you sent in, and also, most importantly, thank you for helping us to put together the clickbait section of the show, which I think lots of people really enjoy.
I think so. This has been one of our new segments of the podcast this year, hasn't it? Taking the clickbait tabloid article headlines of the year each week, and having a little segment where we have to guess what on earth they could be referring to. And it's been almost a year that we've been doing these now, hasn't it? And ever since we started it, Jonathan's been emailing us the headlines every week so that we can have a good old guess at them without being too spoiled at all the other things that are going on in the Corrie press.
Thank you, Jonathan, for your diligence and supportiveness this year.
Much.
And thank you to everybody also for listening and supporting us, and all of the people in our community, whether you follow us on Twitter or on Facebook, you're part of our group, or on Instagram, wherever you listen. Thank you so much. We really have appreciated your support.
Absolutely. And of course, a big thank you again to the cast and crew of Coronation Street who have joined us for today's special episode to say thank you for the awards, because we really appreciate all the involvement and the support that people behind the scenes at Coronation Street give to the podcast as well.
And thank you to Corrie as a whole for another year of fantastic highs and lows. We've really enjoyed watching the antics of the Weatherfield residents this year, and we cannot wait to see what 2026 brings us.
Big change. 5 episodes of the week. Corriedale coming up soon. Who knows what 2026 has got in store. We will just have to wait and see. Thank you everybody for watching this episode, and we'll be back before you know it with our thoughts on next week's Coronation Street shenanigans. But until then, goodbye from me.
Bye from me.
Ta-ra.